How's it going, everyone? It's Osfey, and welcome to Chapter 17 of my Fire Emblem 8 0% Growths Reverse Recruitment LTC. Chapter 17 is a kill boss map in which we just need to kill the boss Leon. It is the first of 2 times in which we're going to be fighting Leon in this run. However, this version is thankfully much easier to kill than the one we fight in the final chapter. While he does still have a good bit of bulk, compared to the final chapter version, he is much more manageable, but still not, super easy. Something notable about this chapter is that it is the first chapter in which we actually lose a turn compared to the normal recruitment 0% growth run. This is for a few reasons, the first of which being that we're using different carries. In Jumpy's run, which is currently the lowest turn count playthrough for normal recruitment 0% growths, he uses Super Cormag as a late game carry, so, basically gives all the investment to Cormag. And we are, unfortunately, not really able to do that. Compared to normal recruitment, Cormag has much worse base stats, and this means that even if we were to give him the same investment, which isn't really a super viable option anyways, even with the same investment, he still faces much sketchier boss kills and some that are just not doable. For example, this one, in Jumpy's 1-turn clear, Super Cormag is able to 2-round Leon over player phase and enemy phase, as long as he crits one of his 4 attacks with the spear. And that's not really something we can do, even with proper investment. And we're not even using Cormag as our carry anyways, so we have to settle on a different kill, obviously. The other big reason we have to settle for the 2-turn clear over a 1-turn clear also relates to the carry that we're using. Specifically, we need to go out of our way to start grinding weapon rank onto our late game carry, Eirika. One of the main drawbacks of joining so late, and we literally just got her last chapter, is that we need to grind her up an entire weapon rank before she can start using the, super busted legendary weapons, specifically the Adholma. Routing in the right amount of weapon XP used to actually be pretty comfy, and then I found the 2 turn saves in chapters 16 and 18 using Boots Amelia, and then that made the weapon XP routing much tighter, and I had to go back and put a much more conscious effort into planning out each round of combat and seeing exactly how much weapon XP I could squeeze out of each turn. And that led to some trade-offs in reliability specifically, but I will talk about that in the next chapter, chapter 18, since that is a longer route map and we'll have more time to talk. And we're almost done with this chapter, and I have barely talked about what's actually going on in the chapter, so I will, I'll touch more on that next time. The overall strategy for this chapter is pretty straightforward. We're basically just going to be trying to take advantage of Warp to its full extent. On turn 1, we warp Eirika over by a bunch of the heroes that are in the bottom right corner of the map. These heroes are ideal for grinding up weapon rank on because they're all locked to 1 range. We also then have Syrene rescue Cormag on turn 1 and then drop him off in a particular spot holding the spear that will let him counter and 1-round a bunch of the magic users. He faces a pretty sketchy enemy phase with a pretty decent chance of him dying, but it is a very nice opportunity to grind up a lot of XP and levels, which, as I've mentioned before, is going to be helpful in just increasing reliability with the few Pierce activations that we're going to be relying on in the late game. So just the last little opportunity to grind out some, not weapon XP, normal XP. And then on turn 2, we warp in Ross. He chips Leon with a hit plus crit with the Killer Axe. We have Cormag then rescue him, which neuters Cormag's stats and sets him up to have another sketchy enemy phase where he needs to dodge 1 out of 3 attacks in order to survive. But he does, thankfully. And then we have Syrene position herself in front of Leon, choosing to wait instead of attacking him because While this does mean that Cormag faces the sketchy enemy phase, it also means that Eirika gets in 2 extra rounds of combat, which is, like I mentioned, pretty important because of how tight the weapon XP routing is. But yeah, that's pretty much it. Chapter 17 in 2 turns, and I will see you guys next time for the egg map. Peace.